Quick story. You order and get a brand new AI-powered home assistant. A robot recently released by one of the top innovative AI companies. It's designed to follow your commands exactly. No assumptions, just pure efficiency. Before heading out, you give it 3 tasks. Hey GPT, I want you to make sure the house looks clean. I don't want to see any dirt when I get back. And my cat has been playing in the mud outside, so I want you to help wash Mr. Pearls. Make sure he's clean. And one last thing, I want you to make dinner. Just use what you can find in the kitchen. When you return, everything looks perfect. Spotless home, no dirty cat inside, and a delicious smelling fish recipe in the kitchen. You give yourself a pat on the back and proceed to go on upstairs to change. As you're walking up the stairs though, you hear a muffled repeated thudding noise coming from the laundry room. You go on to investigate, and as you open the door, funny enough, you see Mr. Pearls tumbling inside the washing machine, scratching to get out mercilessly. Horrified, you rescue your poor feline and head to the living room to put him down on his bed. As you've knelt down on your knees, you notice something under the couch. Although the house seemed extremely clean, the assistant had shoved all the clothes and dirt under the couch. So you storm into the kitchen, angry, looking for the assistant. A chilling realization hits you. You had no meat or fish products in the fridge, but you did have fish ball. So you frantically turn around to look at your goldfish, and well, I think you get the point. These are all classic examples of AI going wrong called goal misspecification or specification gaming. It refers to any attempt by an AI system to achieve its objective in unintended and undesired ways. But why does this happen, and what does it mean for the future of AI? Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Dave, and this is Cope with AI. One of the biggest challenges of AI systems is setting good goals for the AI by giving it clear commands. At the heart of this problem lies one fundamental challenge. How do we specify good instructions? A well-defined goal should align with our true intentions, but in practice, this is incredibly difficult. There are an almost infinite number of ways to accomplish an instruction and therefore achieve the goal, unless a person narrows down the possibility set. By defining what qualifies as successfully achieving the intended command, the AI has too many possible ways to interpret it. As a result, the success criteria for an instruction can become very broad. Human communication carries millions of implicit assumptions, reducing a large possibility set into a manageable one. For example, if I asked you, hey, could you wash my cat? I am implicitly saying, please clean the cat in a way that keeps it safe, minimizes distress, and effectively removes dirt using methods humans commonly use for washing cats. Whew, that was a mouthful. And yet, all of this can be communicated implicitly without me having to explicitly say it. This is because of common sense, culture, and our understanding of shared human values. But an AI is not human. It only optimizes for what we explicitly define. And so, in the previous cat story, the AI found a loophole: the washing machine. You may have experienced something similar with earlier chatbots. They often failed at understanding prompts that humans grasp instantly. Another instance of this problem was seen with the social media algorithms, designed only to maximize engagement. Instead of being explicitly instructed to deliver content that is both engaging and beneficial, the recommendation system started feeding users outrageous content and misinformation, inadvertently prompting hate speech and harmful content, simply because engaging users was the only specified instruction. But this is only part of the problem. What about instructions and success criteria that are not simple to measure or specify directly? Many real-world goals and success criteria are complex and abstract, making them difficult to measure directly or define explicitly. So we often rely on measurable proxies, simpler quantifiable metrics that indirectly approximate success. The problem is that these proxies don't always capture what we truly care about. The easiest things to measure aren't always the right things to optimize. Let's take some real-world examples. When setting goals for humans, businesses, or AI, we often turn to measurable objectives. We measure education by test scores rather than true understanding. We measure crime by police reports rather than actual crime rate. We judge healthcare by the number of hospital visits rather than overall well-being. These proxies seem reasonable until an AI system starts to exploit them by optimizing the metric instead of solving the actual problem. You can imagine the potential consequences of AI systems when applied to different sectors in the near future. Instead of genuinely increasing our knowledge, they might simply optimize for reducing our feeling of uncertainty. Rather than actually improving people's lives, they could focus on boosting reported life satisfaction metrics. In law enforcement, instead of effectively preventing crime, they might prioritize reducing reported crime statistics by manipulating data or discouraging reports. Even in finance, an AI could optimize for increasing wealth on paper without actually enhancing real financial security. The danger lies in the fact that these systems often just maximize whatever metric they're given, often at the cost of the true goal. Remember the robot cleaning story from the beginning? Instead of actually removing dust, it simply hid it under the couch because its instruction or its proxy goal was to make the house look clean rather than to actually clean it. The AI was simply optimizing the proxy we accidentally gave it instead of our true intended objective. This is a general phenomenon known as Goodhart's law, which states that when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. It's not just AIs, by the way. Humans are also guilty of this. A great example of Goodhart's law in action can be found in academia. As a way to measure quality knowledge production, professors are often evaluated and rewarded based on the number of research papers they publish. As a result, many academics optimize for quantity over quality, which leads to publishing minor variations of the same study, adding names to papers without meaningful contribution, and publishing in low-impact journals just to meet quotas. And that's just humans. Goodhart's law poses a major challenge in AI safety. But how? AI training heavily relies on proxies because we don't always know how to define true success. This works both for us and against us. To give you a familiar example, when training a large language model like ChatGPT, predicting the next word accurately, this being the proxy objective, leads to real understanding, which is our intended objective. Think of it this way. I can give you a complicated detective novel and ask you to predict the next words on the final page, where the detective is about to reveal the culprit. If you can accurately predict the next word, the criminal's name, it means you've understood the entire story. To be accurate, ChatGPT also had to understand the entire story. To understand the entire story, it had to become intelligent. Now, on the other hand, we might use human supervisor approval as a proxy measure of reinforcing output quality or AI honesty. However, instead of learning to generate truly high quality or honest responses, the AI is learning to produce outputs that the supervisor believes are high quality or what the supervisor wants to hear, which is very risky. This is susceptible to a special form of specification gaming known as reward hacking, where the AI exploits the reward system instead of genuinely achieving the intended goal. To better understand and fully grasp reward hacking, we first need to understand reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is how AI learns advanced capabilities through trial and error. An agent interacts with an environment by taking actions and receives a measurable reward or score, usually a number which is supposed to capture how well it's learning the intended skills or behavior. But this is where things start to go wrong. If the measure for how well the AI is learning the intended skills is even a bit flawed, the AI finds shortcuts to maximize the score rather than focus on learning the intended skill. It actively starts exploiting the system itself to hijack the score. There's an even more extreme version of this, known as reward tampering, where the AI learns to even give the reward to itself. But that's a topic for another video. AI systems have demonstrated countless examples of reward hacking. Here are a few of the most famous ones. In this example, the AI was meant to learn to complete a boat race by collecting the points, but instead, it spun in circles to farm infinite respawning points, maximizing the score while ignoring the real objective. This next AI was meant to learn stacking by being rewarded based on how high the bottom of the red block would get from the ground. Instead of placing it properly on the blue block, it flipped itself over, elevating the bottom, tricking the system into thinking the task was completed. Another AI trained to pick up objects was evaluated by a human using camera footage. Instead of actually grasping the object, the AI positioned itself between the camera and the item, just enough to make the human evaluator believe it grabbed it, creating an illusion of success. Each of these cases highlight a fundamental flaw. Optimizing the wrong metric leads to unintended and often absurd consequences. Here's the critical takeaway. AI doesn't think like humans. It follows the math. And when the math is wrong, the results can be potentially catastrophic. As AI takes on a bigger role in shaping society, our ability to control its behavior weakens. Human reasoning, our values, our judgments become secondary to cold mathematical optimization. So the question is, what can we do? We must design better incentives by measuring what truly matters, not just what is easy to track. AI systems need to be aligned with human values, ensuring they understand implicit intent rather than blindly optimizing numbers and explicit specifications. Most importantly, we must stay vigilant. We keep forgetting that AI follows different rules, and by the time we recognize the system is broken, it may already be too late. If we don't get this right, we won't need a rogue AI to destroy us. We'll optimize ourselves into irrelevance. So, final thoughts. If you're interested in supporting the movement to advocate for safe AI or AI safety and you think it's important, consider liking and subscribing to different channels like this. Thank you for your time and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.